Elections and infrastructure development will dominate the news in Kenya this year. President Uhuru Kenyatta, whose administration is battling voter discontent over runaway corruption, will be seeking his second and final term. Also expected to be on the ballot is former Prime Minister and opposition leader Raila Odinga. Opinion polls have put Kenyatta in the lead, but there are fears that last-minute amendments to the country's electoral laws may lead to violence, as the opposition is already alleging that there are plans to rig the polls. On the economic scene, Kenya will begin exporting oil in March ahead of neighbour Uganda. Sarah Kimani takes a look at Kenya this year.
Kenya will hold its general elections in August this year. The presidential ballot will be a hotly contested battle between incumbent President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is seeking a second and final term, against the opposition. The opposition is currently working on a more united front led by former Prime Minister Raila Odinga of the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy, CORD. Last year, CORD held protests to demand the ouster of the Electoral Commission, claiming it could not be trusted to hold a free and fair election. The opposition is once again preparing to take to the streets to demand that the president does not sign hurried amendments to the electoral law that will see the Electoral Commission use manual backup to the electronic voting system. The opposition claims this is a ploy by the Kenyatta administration to rig the polls. Both Kenyatta and Odinga have pledged a violent free poll. In 2007, at least 1,500 people were killed following disputes over poll results. Kenya, like the rest of the region, is feeling the effects of climate change. Failure of last year's March to April long rains and the October to December short rains has left the country's granaries empty and low water levels in the East African nation's dams. The capital, Nairobi, is expected to begin water rationing as a result, and the Kenya Red Cross Society has indicated that nearly 2 million people are faced with starvation. In March this year, Kenya will begin its ambitious plan to export oil. Although plans to build an oil pipeline are on hold, the country will transport at least 2,000 barrels of oil a day from Turkana in the north of Kenya to an oil refinery in the port city of Mombasa. British company Tullow Oil fast-tracked oil in Kenya in 2012. Still on the economic front, the country's most expensive infrastructure project, the Chinese-financed standard gauge railway line, will begin operations in June this year. The first phase of the railway will run from Nairobi to Mombasa. The line will eventually connect Kenya to Uganda, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Rwanda. It is expected to reduce congestion on the roads as well as ease the movement of goods and passengers in the East African region. The African Development Bank has prospected an overall GDP growth of 6.4% for Kenya. Sarah Kimani, SABC News, Nairobi, Kenya.